man? I'm Derek Gordon. I'm here with Toddy D, Brooklyn's own. We are Brooklyn's own, but we also escaped from Brooklyn. That's what we're here. Thanks for joining us again. It's another week of the podcast. Todd, man, what are you up to since the last time we spoke?
What's going on, bro? Long time no talk, man. Escape from Brooklyn, episode 7. We're 3 away from double digits. I'm psyched. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to triple digits and then some. We just need some sponsors, some followers, but we'll get there, bro. Everything's doing all right, man. I mean, a lot went by this past week. I had to go for a DOT physical for an up-and-coming job, and that was like an adventure in itself, bro.
What was that, Department of Transportation?
No, DOT is for your physical for driver department. Yeah, Department of Transportation.
That's what I fucking said.
Right, I did.
Who's high, me or you?
Nah, not high on Poland Spring, man. But that's about it.
All right, so the DOT.
No, I misunderstood you. My bad, bro. Like I said, it's been a rough week. A couple more gray hairs. I guess a little half-timers coming in.
You up pretty bad. Like Department of Transportation. No. What? Department of Transportation. Yeah, that's what I said.
Just call me Al for Alzheimer's, you know. I don't have to tell you.
Yeah, it's starting to set in.
Yeah, Department of Transportation physical, as you mentioned.
Congratulations, by the way. Shout out.
Yes. Bravo. Kudos to you. My bad. But anyway, you know, they do the hearing, which is fine. They do the vision, which was fucked up, but I had a second chance. And then your blood pressures. Basically, with the vision, they have this fucking eye chart, right? And it's against the wall, and you're so much feet behind. And I'm telling you, bro, it's a setup. The eye chart is very dismal. The lighting is very dark, and it's hard to see. She gives me this spoon to put over each eye. So I'm trying to do like the little cheat and peek so I can see the letters. And this broad is yelling at the top of like, cover the eye, cover the eye. I was like, like I was in the military, you know? So she got me all fucking worked up. So I said, listen, I don't know what's going on with the lighting here. I can only see a few letters. So they finally gave me that thing you look in, you know, into the telescope. I read everything good. But by the time it came to the blood pressure, this woman was getting me fucking fired up. By the time I took the blood pressure, it was 165 over something, 176 over something. I said, listen, you need to stop doing this because eventually it's going to say to be continued. So instead of getting a 1-year certificate, I got a 3-month.
So it should have been 3 hours. You were like, listen,
yeah, exactly.
This bitch is working on my fucking blood pressure. You ripped the fucking thing over. Like, stop, bitch. You fucking with me. I'm going to lose this job because of you.
I'm telling you, man, because I go to my doctor 2 weeks before that, and the shit was 120 over 74, bro. So you tell me. They got me fired up. You should take the blood pressure as soon as you walk in that door before I find out you're going to be an asshole. So at least that way I get the high blood pressure, lower risk of having it. We get that shit out of the way. We can move forward. So I called the guy up and I told him about it. He says, listen, 3 months ain't bad, dude. Usually these guys only get 1 month. So consider it a win. I was like, okay, whatever. But that was the beginning of my week. What's been going on with you?
Dude, that week sounds fucking crazy. If you ever seen the Bronx Tale, you shit when they would do shooting craps. They're like, yo, I don't want coffee cakes looking at my dice. Put them in the fucking bathroom.
That's right.
You tell that lady, listen, when they take my blood, you need to go lock yourself in the fucking bathroom. Stay away from me.
I don't want to hear you mush.
Get out of my right. You fucking you're gonna mush my fucking test over here.
I'm telling you, man. She was like a fucking liability, man. It was annoying.
Oh,
she's like, what did I do? I'm like, what'd you do? You fucking firing me up. That's what you did.
Oh, man. Well, dude, talking about getting fucking fired up. 2 things. 1, I'm in the process of building a pool in the back, right?
Yep.
So they came.
Pool part 25.
Yeah. So they were supposed to be done middle of June. That was the estimated time frame that they needed. Middle of June. I figured, oh, okay, whatever. I know it's not going to be done by that time. I'm thinking, I'll give them a couple extra weeks. 4th of July. We'll have a 4th of July party. It is now August, end of July, early August, whatever the fuck today is. Something like that. Yeah, the 28th.
July 28th.
Okay. They still haven't done shit. They haven't done nothing. I mean, here's the thing. They dug a hole. They started building the deck around it, right? So they're building it with pavers, and they're almost finished. Like, if I knew how to do it, I would fucking finish it. But I'm not paying all that money for me to be doing the fucking work, which is the punchline that I'm getting to in a few. So these motherfuckers, they started putting the pavers down. They didn't finish the job. And it's still like that. 5 weeks. Nobody's been on my property in 5 fucking weeks. They told me this job was going to be I should have been splashing in my pool, fucking in the corner in the middle of the night. And when? In June 17th, Father's Day. We're already at the beginning of August. You haven't even finished the fucking pavers. So I call up and I start chewing out the PM's ass. I'm like, where the fuck? How do you abandon a job? I haven't seen I want you out here fucking today. I don't fuck your excuses. Today, somebody needs to be fucking out here. Somebody comes, they start cleaning up the shit, and they're like, oh, listen, we want to set up your safety inspection. I'm like, all right, cool. What do I have to do? They're like, you got to put up your fence. They took the fence down and bring in the tractor trailers to dig the holes and shit like that. And I'm like, oh. I was like, well, are you guys done fucking with the pool? I know you got to do the pavers. I know I got other shit to do. Why should I put up the fence? So I start calling fence companies. Nobody wants to take the job because it's only 37 feet. So they're like, I'm not making
right now.
money.
Everything is torn down.
No, it's just this portion where the gate is, and I had to take down a couple of panels. So they had to bring the trucks in to dig the hole for the pool.
So, yeah, but that's what I meant. They started doing the job, but they just left it to whatever they got up to, and it's been like that.
The pool people, right? The pool people.
Okay.
But before they even dug the hole, I had to have the fence taken down. Now I can't get nobody to put the fence back up. It's not even the whole fence. It's just a small fucking portion of the fence. Everybody's bullshit. Like 37 feet. Nah, I'm like, yo, dude, you're not even using your materials. I have all the material. Just put it back together. That's 2 hours work. If we're getting $400, $500, I don't give a fuck. I'll pay you. Just do it. Nobody wants to take the job. Guess who's got to figure out how to put the fence back up?
You.
Me. Yep. So
that's
now
when you get the keyboard out. YouTube. How do I fix this fucking 37 feet of fence?
Yo. So I fucking I start getting mad because I'm like, first hurricane we have, bye fence. I'm gonna have to buy a whole nother fence.
Right.
I started looking. I find a guy gives a quote, $580. I'm like, boom. I'm gonna book this. He says, I'll do it. Whatever. $580. Cool. I'm about to go book it, and Lori's like, fuck that. For $580, we can do it ourselves. I'm like, yo, listen, when we met, it was on the side of Home Depot. I wasn't out there on a Saturday saying, Poppy, you got work. I don't know shit about fences.
I'm not the dude from Home Improvement.
Yeah. I'm like, so now I had to get a neighbor who's in construction. He's helping me dig the holes. And dude, I wanted to pay. I wanted to be hello. Yes, Tuesday, 8 a.m. Great. Hang up the phone. And then sometime Tuesday afternoon, I get a knock. Senor, the fucking thing is done. I was like, oh, great. Here's the money. Bye. And it's done. Now I'm stuck putting the fucking fence up.
That sucks.
I don't have warranties. I got nothing. Why does she put me in this
Bob
position?
Vieler over here.
Yeah, dude, I'm fucking angry. I'm like, first of all, I'm willing to pay. One, nobody wants to take the job. Two, I can't even fucking pay anybody to do the job. How come you're not good with paying for a professional? She watches these fucking home makeover shows on HGTV, and they fucking buy and flip a house in 45 minutes plus commercials. And she's like, oh,
it's 45 minutes for like fucking 6 months worth of work.
Yo, she's like, we can do this. We can
exactly.
Listen, yo, we will walk through the house. She's like, yeah, we could tear down that wall and build this. I said, who the fuck are we? Where's the other guy? I don't do that. Yeah, that's not me. Who else are you fucking that you own this house with? Because this one don't do it. Yo, I'm like,
oh man,
what you talking about? So apparently,
TV makes it look so easy, man.
Yeah, dude, I don't know. I might be on ABC or HGTV soon. Like, yo, you want to see how you fuck up a house and you can't repair it again? Watch this.
That sounds familiar. That's like me when I'm watching all these car restoration videos on YouTube. And I get this stupid idea. Yeah, I'll buy an old piece of shit muscle car and I'll fix it up. I'll watch it on YouTube. Meanwhile, I'm lucky if I can fucking maybe change a door lock or a glove box. I mean, the rest of the car are going to be like, okay, a beat. That's all, folks.
Yo, let me answer your question. What would be worse? Working on a house with no experience, knowing that that's where you live, that's where your entire life resides, but you are possibly fucking it up, or working on a car, knowing that like, hey, I think I know what I'm doing. I watch a YouTube video. I'm gonna go take this and drive this 85 miles an hour, possibly fucking kill myself. Which one's worse?
I'm kind of guilty of both, bro, because when I had my 80 Corvette, I used to have it here in the garage. So,
of course he is. Of course he's done this.
So wait. So I get the YouTube video and I had to change out the distributor. And then it has all these plugs and all this shit. So I'm watching like this plug 1 through like 12 or 14. So I'm watching this guy and he's doing it one at a time, making it look easy. So I got the laptop on top of the Corvette on a piece of cardboard and I'm trying to follow the steps. I turned that son of a bitch on, and it sounded like the fucking gunslinging from the West Corral. You hear pop, 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 pop. I'm like, oh shit! I'm like ducking for cover.
Ball bearings and ricocheting in your hood.
Exactly. So I'm trying to fix this shit. So I brought it to the gas station the next day because there was this guy who used to work there, and he worked on Corvettes. He was a good dude. So I showed him, my fuck up, and he looks at me and he's like, "It's not the best in the world, but it's not that bad. I've seen worse." So at least it was okay. I mean, it could have been totally.
You're still alive. You survived. I mean,
exactly. Yeah, I dodged and weaved. You think I was boxing my own car? But as far as fixing up a house, it's funny because I have a huge deck in the backyard, and it's got the track boards. So this deck, the guy who had the house before me, he set this up. It was one of the few things he did correctly, but he did take some shortcuts. So a few years ago, we're walking on the deck, and one of us was sitting down, and you could feel it shifting. So we had a guy come, and he put some, reinforcements on the bottom. These like Y-shaped pieces of wood that made it, more sturdy. But now the bottom of the deck is better. It's still a little rickety, but it's not that bad. But now the top, a few months ago, the first few track boards were like bellying a little bit. And my wife says to me, Steph says, you better look into this. You got to get it fixed. So I started watching the YouTube videos. So like a jerk, I tried taking a shortcut. They show a video where they take a little 1x1 piece of wood and they put it across a couple of the boards, and they tell you to diagonally put the screws in. It'll lift the board up that the 1x1 is on top of. So it did work a little, but by me putting in the screws diagonally, I fucking ripped apart the track board. Just like a little bit, like I frayed, like where the wood screws went in.
How do you break that news to your wife?
So she looked at it, and I get, "What the fuck did you do?" And I'm like,
exactly.
Kind of fucked up, but thank God we had a mat to cover the few boards I fucked up. But then I looked further into it, so now I go down to Home Depot, and this is before I had my truck. Now I got a pickup truck. At the time, I had a Terrain, which is not a bad SUV, but it's not made for big pieces of wood.
Right.
So I go down to the Home Depot, and I tell the guy I need plywood 4x4. And he goes, "All right, no problem." So he had the 8x8, and he cuts it in half. So while he's cutting the wood, I go down the aisle, I get a handsaw. I'm buying all these things that I never thought I'd fucking have in my life that I'm going to be doing. And
you're not even sure you can do this job.
Exactly. I'm just like, it's like on a wing and a prayer, So I fucking go into the Home Depot. I got this list of shit that I never expected that I would be getting from me to use. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to lose about maybe 4 or 5 fingers in the process. So the guy comes, I come back to the guy, and I got the cart, and he gives me the 2 8x8s. It's now cut 2 pieces of 4x4. So I said, I only need one of them. And he says, yeah, but you're paying for both, so you might as well take the second one. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So I check out at the thing. I go to my truck. So I didn't really plan ahead. Back of the Terrain, the fucking hatchback is not as wide as the wood. So now I'm like, okay, what do I do here, So I take the passenger side seat and I bring it forward. And this is when COVID was like fully bad. Everybody was wearing masks. Yeah. This is even before the vaccine. So I got the passenger side seat forward. I slant the first one. I put it in the back and it fit. So now the second one, I'm trying to jam that shit in. And I fucking cut my whole finger. Blood spewing out like a fountain. I'm cursing in the lot, and I had a little bit of a cough. People are looking at me like I'm the Antichrist. They're trying to keep away from me. I get back to the house. I measure the wood. I'm using the handsaw. Thank God I got a backyard below with a nice table. So I'm cutting the wood, and I actually did a good job, if I don't say so myself. But I wish I didn't fuck up the first. Yeah, I did it nice and straight, perfect. The only thing is I wish I didn't fuck up those first few track boards with those screws going in diagonal because I tried taking a shortcut, and I fucked up. So I bought a crowbar also in Home Depot to bring up the track boards. So now when I put the track boards back down, you got to remember, they're laying there for like years. So when they're coming out, they're a little warped. So now it's fucking hard to put them back in the way they go because, they're expanding now. And now it's not fitting into the slots where they were originally. So it took me a while to get them in. But once I got them in, where the nail gun had the little pinholes in the board, I replaced that with wood screws that went in nice and even. And had I done that from the beginning, I wouldn't have fucked up those first few boards.
But you fixed it. It got fixed.
Yeah, I fixed it. You'd be surprised what you can do if you got half a brain.
Dude,
I mean, now I don't know. You said DOT, and I said DOT like a jerk. and what it means. So I don't know how much sales I got
It's
left.
just, you got to work on your car. You became a mechanic. You got to work on your house. You became a house builder. You never said how you fixed the finger. You became a surgeon. Like, yo, give me a pair of pliers, a pizza cutter, and a stapler. I got this. Like,
well, what's the pizza cutter for? Well, I ordered a pie, and just in case they don't cut it.
Just you never know. Fucking oh man. But it's funny that you say that because, like, again, my wife watches these shows and she is convinced, like, hand to God, convinced we could do that. Like, no, we can't. I'm like, first problem is I don't have the money. Second of all, I don't have the skill. Fuck it. I can't buy either one. It is what it is. But in our last house, when we first got my dog Ranger, that fucker ate everything. I mean, yo, he ate a Verizon Fios remote control. 2 of them. Didn't swallow it, but I came back. It was Lego blocks.
What the fuck?
Yo, yeah, feed the dog, but not my other one's doing it now too. It's driving me fucking crazy. So the dog one day ended up getting close to the counter and took a black Sharpie marker. And instead of just fucking around in the kitchen, took it over to the thing. Was like, oh, you know what? The carpet is a lot more comfortable. Let me just chew the fuck out of this thing. Come home. Yo, got all over his paws. So there's paw prints all over the house. He must have been touching himself. Now he looks like a Dalmatian. And then he's fucking. Then there's a big blotchy permanent Sharpie marker, black ink spot on the floor. I'm like, fuck.
Oh shit!
I'm renting this place, right?
Yeah.
And this is in the dining room. So you walk in, there's a foyer, boom, dining room. I don't know why they had car. It wasn't even a dining room. It was a fucking like a second living room, but where a dining room should be. Carpet should not have been there to begin with. So fuck it's carpet.
Right.
But Lori's like, I watched a home makeover show. We could fix this. I'm like, nah. Well, I'm just gonna call the carpet place. We're gonna replace this carpet. Plus, it's not my house. I am not putting down floors. It's not happening. She's like, no, we didn't like carpet anyway. We can get these laminates and they snap in together. I'm like, Lori, I don't even have a saw. My brother has a saw. We can use his saw. I'm like, I'm not cutting off my fingers, Lori. Why the? Anyway, I break.
That's what I was thinking when I got the saw. I was like, I never used a saw before.
Like, which fuck. Come on the fucking podcast with nubs. Like, what? So here's the funny part, right? So I'm like, if we're gonna do this, we're doing it this weekend because I need this out of my system. It's driving me fucking crazy. It's haunting me. So I tear up the carpet, boom, 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 boom. I don't know where to take it. So I go like to the back of a CVS. I throw it in their dumpster, and I'm bringing just rolls of carpet and the padding. And then I noticed, I'm like, fuck, this foundation doesn't seem level. But mind you, I had to look at it because I'm picking out, because it was carpet, the wood tacks and shit like that, and the boards. So I'm breaking that shit up with a screwdriver and a hammer. And I'm looking at the foundation. I'm like, so we're going to lay a floor on top of this concrete? She's like, yeah, that's the way they did it in the show. I said, they didn't put anything between the concrete and the floor, especially just to even it out. No foam, padding, something. No, these things snap in.
Wow.
And you put it on the floor.
Half-ass job.
So I'm like, I don't know. She convinces me. Right. Or basically, I didn't want to fucking hear it no more. I was like, fine, you win. You saw the show, the Property Brothers or whoever the fuck, you saw it. Extreme Home Makeover. Go. She buys all the fucking shit. Her and her brother, because I refuse to take part in this. They fucking do the thing, right? Not gonna lie, it looked awesome.
Really?
Problem was, because there was nothing between the foundation and the floor when you walked in, it was like on a fucking trampoline. So I'm like, yo, are they gonna get? She goes, no, they're there to bend. They're okay. They can hold the weight. I'm like, Lori, they're not gonna separate.
Once they walk and get some air off of this, we'll be out of here. Don't worry about it.
It was like the middle of a wrestling ring. You just boing and you come fucking back up. You're like, oh, I wasn't.
Dude, I'm gonna take a bump.
Right. I could have had independent wrestling matches in my dining room for one. Because, dude, and you walk like this. I'm like, yo, Lori, this shit is uneven. She's like, it's supposed to be like that. I said, I've never been to a fucking house where I felt like.
You've heard of backyard wrestling. Now there's living room wrestling at the Gordon home. Film at 11.
I gotta learn, Todd. I gotta stop her in tracks. Like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Stop. We're not doing it. Stop it. You can't do what you saw on TV. I can't go out there and be fucking James Bond or Indiana Jones. You can't fucking rebuild houses.
Who used to do that? I think it was Jamie Foxx. Like, halt, stop. Jamie Foxx used to do that.
If you know so much, and if what you see is true, I'm going to use my Jedi mind tricks to erase your fucking memory.
You do it. No, man, it's so funny because with the rugs, my wife's father, you know, he lives upstate. I mentioned in the past, he just bought a house in Jersey, so it's like a 55 and older community, but he's keeping the place upstate until he feels that he's really going to want to stay, you know, permanently at this place in Jersey. So I'm talking to my brother-in-law over the weekend because, you know, we went to the barbecue, and he said, "Listen, when we move some of my father's stuff to Jersey to the house, there's a carpet that he wants us to pull up." So he's like, have you done this before? I'm like, yeah, I pulled up carpets, but the bitch is, once you rip the carpet up, you got these small little divots that are like stapled into the floor. You got to pop them all out.
Right,
and
the wood pieces with the tacks, the carpet tacks. Yeah.
What does he tell me? Well, that's where you come in, because my father and I, neither one of us can bend and do that. I'm gonna need you to do that. I'm like, oh, okay. If you guys are relying on me, that I'm the one who's in the best shape out of the three, that's a sad bunch of guys, because I'm not in the best shape myself. So I'll be doing that in a few weeks. I've done it before, but it's work, man. Thank God I got my old knee pads when I used to train when I was wrestling years ago. There's somewhere I got to blow it.
Dude, I guarantee you, if I stand up on one of these shows, I have a pair of white knee pads I used to put underneath the outfit to bump around in.
Well, if I can't find mine, pass them through the camera, because I'm going to need them. Because there's no way I'm going to last without knee pads, man. My fucking knees will break. Let me tell you, bro, I got up the other day. I swear to you, I'm not lying. I got up out of bed and I heard cracks in my body I've never heard before. From my fucking ankles to my knees to my neck. It sounded like a drummer playing double bass, but it was all cracking in the joints, and nobody was cracking my shit. It was just cracking all by itself. Right. I was like, wow, this is not good.
You're like, oh, snap, crackle, pop. And my fucking bones made of Rice Krispies? What's going on?
Exactly, man. I thought I had a fucking Rice Krispies all over me, man, because that's all I heard was snap, crackle, fucking pop.
Damn, Mr. fucking Brittle. Call you Mr. Glass. You ever see those movies with Samuel L. Jackson?
Yeah.
Damn. But yo, man, you know, you extra, like, I just started going back to the gym, and like my t-shirts are fucking like tight because I'm bulking.
I was gonna say, you look a little bigger, man. I'm the opposite. Dude, my shirt's sagging.
I'm getting thick. I'm not losing my fucking gut though, because I don't do sit-ups or cardio. I'm just like, I'm just fucking jacking weight. And like, I should probably mix it up. Like, get one of those books. I say, oh, on Tuesdays you do legs, okay? And but yeah,
you want to shred, bro? Use lighter weight and do more reps.
Yeah,
that's what you should do.
Dude, I'm going maybe 3 or 4 times a week, but I'm there for like 2.5, 3 hours a session. And I'm just like in the zone, crank. But again, I'm only doing.
You're actually going to a gym.
Yeah, okay. No, well, not a gym. I'm going to in my parents' complex. They have like the little community gym. Like, you have to have your resident card to go in there inside the complex. Right. It's very fucking tiny. But I go in there late at night when nobody's in there at all. And then they have all the Fabuloso and all the shit and the wipes. So I go down there, and I because I'm Puerto Rican, the guys on the camera are like, oh, look, the maintenance man's coming to clean up the fucking machines. So, oh, okay. Hey, Pablo.
You're early. The mop's over there. Grab your gloves.
Get the treadmill one more time, Pablo. Wipe that down. Good job. Oh, now he's going to work out. Okay. We'll give it to him.
Not to be funny, but I guess it's a decent segue. Speaking of Pablo, when we were talking about celebrity lookalikes a couple episodes ago, you said you used to sign as Chavo, right?
Uh-huh.
Not to talk wrestling, but Chavo Guerrero made an appearance on AEW last week, and he's now got a bald head, and he looked like you, man. And I'm watching this, and I'm laughing my ass off. I said, no wonder why this motherfucker can make all these autographs, because he does resemble you a little bit.
Dude, I'm going to send you pictures of when I had hair. And dude, I had like the Puerto Rico tan going on, and I would come out, and they were like, and I would do my hair the way Chavo did. We know when he used to ride around on the horse, the broomstick with the horsey thing, right? He used to do his shit. Yeah. They were like, yo, it's Chavo, and I'm like, hey, kids, even adults and fucking women, they were all like, Chavito. I'm like, yeah, come on,
$20.
Yeah.
Autograph.
Holy, but dude, again, you're like, look, like you don't fill out the shirt anymore. What's the matter? You look like you got Lou Gehrig's disease or something. Like,
no, don't even say that, man. It's there a little bit, but bro, man, that's how much bigger my arms used to be.
But that's what I'm just like. I'm working out now. My shit's just like busting at the woody.
Yeah,
but I want
size large. I gotta work out.
Your shit looks like floppy vagina lips. Like after women's give birth 3 or 4 times, it's like, oh shit, got like wizard sleeves. What's going on over there? Just
they're in there somewhere.
Fucking elephant ears.
I'm actually starting to work out tomorrow, and I'll tell you a funny story. I went to GNC over the weekend, right?
Oh.
So anytime you ask one question to the cashier, he or she wants to sell you the whole fucking store. And they say, oh, you need this for the preload, and you need this for the recovery, and you need this. It's all bullshit. So there's a guy, he walks in, right? He's about, I don't know, maybe 5'5", 5'6". He's a short guy, but he's pretty diesel. You know, you can tell he works out. He's in really good shape. So she said, you know, what do you do for your workouts? So I said, I just take a scoop of creatine with a scoop of whey. I put it in the water. I blend it together after, you know, post-workout. Then I'll shower and I'll have a bite to eat, and that's it. So then the little dude who was jacked, he looks at me and he goes, well, if you don't mind me asking, what kind of creatine do you take? So I said, well, I bought the GNC one, you know, the regular brand. So he was there buying creatine. He goes, take this one. So I should have had it here today to show you, but he said, this is the one that I take, and I swear by it. I use the whole container, then I don't use it for 30 days, and then I buy it again. He said, because, you know, you retain water with the creatine.
Yeah.
And when I was working out way back in the day when creatine first came out, I gained massive weight from the creatine. You got to drink a lot of water because it's not good for the kidneys if you don't, you know, drink.
Right.
So I'm talking to this guy. So the girl behind the counter, she goes, okay, well, if you're going to take the creatine with the whey, you need to take blah, blah, blah. And he's like, nah, that's bullshit. He said, don't listen to her. And he just starts talking to me. He like cut her like right off.
Shut the fuck up.
It was like,
I'm working here.
No one's talking to you. You just work here. I work out. I know what I'm doing. Go take a 5-minute break. Do whatever. So we're bullshitting. He goes, just do what you know what you're doing. So he says, bro, I haven't been in this shape that I'm in now. He says to me, oh, I'm 49 years old and I feel great. When I looked at this guy, not to insult him because he was in good shape, he didn't look 49. He looked more like 59 or 60 something.
Oh shit!
He looked old, but he was built. So I felt a little better because I'm 50 and I look younger than him.
Oh damn! Know? So he looked elderly. He looked like Bob Barker and shit.
Right, exactly.
But
you know,
jacked
I was waiting
up.
for him to say, "Come on down. I'll show you what to get in GNC." You're the next.
That's why he's jacked up though, because life is treating him like shit. He probably left his wife. It's like, "Fuck you, bitch. I'm gonna go hit the gym. I'm gonna go get jacked up. I know I'm a little old, but I'm gonna find me a young bitch. I'm gonna rub her in your face. Fuck you."
I see guys older than him that look good. So I mean, it's all about fucking.
Probably
it's all
driving
about the mindset, man.
Corvette or some shit like that. It's like, "Hey, baby, hop in. You right stick." He was pretty diesel, man. So, you know, we were talking about working out, and anytime this poor woman tried to interject, make a suggestion, he goes, no, fuck that noise. That's what he said. Fuck that noise. That's all bullshit. Fuck that noise.
That's what he said. Fuck that noise. I started laughing my ass off. So I shook his hand. Even though I had a brand new GNC creatine I had just, you know, purchased, I figured, fuck it. Let me, since I'm going to start new this week, I'm going to try the one that he said, you know. Because I told him I'm taking the whey protein. He goes, yeah, that's cool. And, you know, I have a Bowflex in my house. Yeah. So, you know, I got the Bowflex. And when I was working out, bro, I was disciplined and I saw some results. Now I'm like the living embodiment of the before.
Okay.
You know,
for anybody watching this show, if you go on Todd's Twitter at Toddy D, what is it? Go to at Toddy D Wrestling, because Todd is a man of multiple personalities. So when you go there, scroll down a couple of months when he was actually working out, and this motherfucker will wake up like, "Good morning, Hulk Hogan. Check out the fucking 24-inch guns." Like,
and that's when I actually had guns. Right now I got garden snakes. But I'm working on it. Rome wasn't built in a day, bro.
Did Hogan ever respond to any of that? Like, looking good, brother. Keep it up.
He's responded. He's liked, but they won't follow. The only big legend that follows me, and he replies to everything basically 9 out of 10 times, is Sergeant Slaughter.
He
calls me Gunny D. Because Sarge had the thing up on Twitter. I forgot what it said. So I had a picture of me doing a bicep shot when I was working out. So it was a pretty decent flex. And I got a Sergeant Slaughter shirt on. So he says, from now on, I'm not going to call you Toddy D. I'm going to call you Gunny D. and from that point on, anytime we talk on Twitter, hey Gunny, what's going on? I laugh hysterically.
And he remembers that too, which is awesome, because like you've left an imprint in his head.
I'm like nobody for Sergeant Slaughter, but he's a cool
man.
Dude,
and he's
man,
like, oh, hey, it's Gunny D. That's funny. It'd be great if he knew Toddy D, because then we can start getting this podcast off the ground.
I know. I tried to get this guy on I've been trying to get him to Tonka, B. Brian Blair, which by the way, his son just got murdered. It was really fucked up. But you know, that's a whole different, you know, ball game. But, you know, like you said, multiple personalities, Toddy D Wrestling and the Toddy D Comedy for Escape from Brooklyn. I'm doing a lot of crazy shit on there, too, besides the podcast. I'm, doing 1-2 minute clips, doing impressions. I'm having a blast.
I saw you doing some shit where you're Christopher Walken, because based on that the popularity of your impressions on the show, you were doing Christopher Walken, like watching wrestling and commenting on wrestling shit.
Critiquing, yeah, the wrestling world of Walken. Yeah.
That's just pretty funny, because I'm
Yeah.
imagining if you close your eyes, you use theater of the mind, you start figuring, oh shit, Christopher Walken's a wrestling fan, and that's like
Yeah.
sitting him watching Raw or something.
He gets into it a little bit, and eventually you're gonna hear some Morgan Freeman commentary I'm working on.
Yo, let me just give you advice. Don't do blackface. That probably not.
No, just the voice. Just the voice. But
Tom was like, I gotta put this shoe polish away. Wait a minute.
No, I'm not Robert Downey Jr. in that friggin' movie
Tropic
he made with
Thunder.
Tom Cruise.
How great is that movie, dude?
What was the name of that movie?
Tropic Thunder.
Tropic Thunder. That was a sick movie, man. You can't make that shit now, man. Forget it.
Dude, no. Imagine that.
No way.
Holy
no way in
shit.
hell that's gonna get made now.
Oh my God, dude. That's what sucks. I mean, yeah. The future, just garbage. Because people can't take a fucking joke. They can't take a joke. I'm like, why are you so sensitive? If you don't laugh about it, then all that built up hatred, that wins. And they can keep saying that shit. Like, oh no, that's not right.
It's only jokes.
I'm offended. I need an apology. I want to cancel it. Dude, fuck, like, ha ha ha. Fuck you. And that's it. Move on with your life. Oh my God. I can't with that.
Some of the shit we used to joke around with back in the day, whether we were at work, hanging out, I hung out with a diverse crowd.
Mm-hmm.
We would joke on each other, and no one took offense to it. No one took offense to it because they knew at the end of the day it was all jokes.
Bro, we're from Brooklyn. Brooklyn is a melting pot. Like the fucking the Mexicans make the pizza at the Italian place. They also run the Chinese restaurant over there, and then the Indians run every bodega on the corner. I'm just like, yo, I grew up with nothing but blacks and Spanish and white and this and that. I don't even know how to be racist. I don't understand how people can like fucking hate. I'm like, how do you do that? How is it possible? Like, yo, fuck you, because you're black or you're Asian. I'm like, whoa, dude, like for real?
Oh, I know. Back in the day in Brooklyn, we had to make fun of people. If you didn't make fun of someone, there was something wrong with you.
Right.
You had to joke on your friends. You had to goof on your friends.
The stereotypes would make it funny. Like, that's a good one. And then you hit them with a stereotype, and dude, and that's it. It was done in love. What the fuck?
My Puerto Rican buddy years ago, he used to call me the greasy guinea, and I used to call him my hubcap stealing Puerto Rican friend. And we all laughed. It was all good fun. I mean, people don't steal hubcaps anymore. I'm talking about 100 years ago. But back then, it was just jokes, man.
Yeah, man. I can't with this fucking culture, man.
My friend was Jewish. I said, oh yeah, you're a cheapskate. Surprise, surprise. And we all laughed. No one got offended. It was just jokes, man.
Dude, those
being
are
a
the best
comedian today sucks because
like I love stand-up comedy. I love watching, but those people work on pieces and they tell stories and stuff like that. I just want like the fucking knock joke with a bad stereotype punchline, or say, hey,
right to the punchline. Yeah,
a Jewish guy, a black guy, and a Mexican walk into a bar. Like, oh, come on, please, I can't wait. Like, what do those jokes sound like today? Because how do these kids like develop humor? Like, I don't get it. Everybody's so tight-assed right now with, oh, I'm offended. I'm gonna cancel you. I can't. Oh, I need to go pro.
How can you say that about me? I'm insulted.
And dude, for anybody who's confused, right? I'm the biggest fucking liberal there is. So like, come on, give it grow some balls. What's wrong with you people?
But you have to remember something though, and this is all I'm going to say because I don't talk much about politics, but whether you're Republican or Democrat, right? You could be a Democrat and be normal. You could be a Republican and be normal. But then there's these extremists that get offended with every little thing, either side. And I'm like, take a fucking pill, relax. It just is what it is, bro.
Man. It's all a fucking power struggle, and they need our votes to keep their seat, to continue fighting with each other while not doing shit for us. So when election time comes around, they're like, "Yo, hey, you still like me, right? You gonna vote? Vote. All right, I'm still your dude, right? All right, yeah. Listen, motherfucker." I'm like, yo, and then nothing ever gets done. And then the world falls to shit. We're like, he promised. We put him in office. It's gonna pay off.
Vote for me.
Oh my God, dude, we're fucked. We are as people, as middle class, we are fucked. So
we're fucked either way.
Yeah, man.
But it is what it is. But I wanted to ask you, we're talking about friends and everything else. You ever hang out with a group of guys and you only see them once in a blue moon?
Mm-hmm.
But every time you see them and they have like other friends over, they always talk about the same stories that you've heard maybe 10,000 times.
To each other, or when new people come and like, hey, you haven't heard this one.
Like if you go to someone's house as a guest, and you're at your buddy's house, and he's got some of his other friends over that you only see when you're hanging out with that person.
Okay.
Like they're his friends. Like you and him are friends, and the guy that's over there, he's friends with you and the other guy, but this is someone you usually don't hang out with unless you're hanging out with that mutual friend.
Like that other friend is the bridge. He's the common denominator.
You get the bridge. Okay. So now sometimes if you're the one guy and it's your buddy and you're at his house, but all of his other friends are there that you usually don't see, you say, oh, you got to hear what happened back in the day. We did this and we did that. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, motherfucker, you told me the same shit last month. Yeah,
right.
Is there a different ending this time? I mean, it's like watching a rerun.
Bro, it's crazy because I've got, so here's what I've assessed, because I've thought about that too. Like, you're around certain people, right, for certain times, for very limited times, and then the only thing they can talk about are those very limited times that they've spent with you, because because other than that, we've never hung out, so we haven't made other stories to come back and tell this group
to create, to discuss.
We got to talk about the same shit that we talked about last time and the last time we saw each other, and that's it. Yo, it's crazy, and I feel so uncomfortable. And then sometimes you try to embellish the story a little bit just to give it a better. They're like, oh, hey, here's something that got cut out of the movie.
And one of the guys who was embellishing in that story, I'm thinking to myself, motherfucker, you just said that the last time.
Right? You're like, wait, what?
That's like watching the same WrestleMania over and over again. Yeah. And you're going to tell me the first WrestleMania that Roddy and Paul Orndorff went over at the end. No. That's not what happened.
Like, wait a minute. What director's cut is this? I mean, they Snyder cutted your story.
Director's cut number 25,002.
I just got to make a quick statement, because I was watching the last episode of our pod, and I saw that I was hopping up and down on my chair a lot, and I keep doing it now. Listen, it's not that I'm trying to ride a dick or anything. I got this cushion on here, and it fucking, take a look at this thing. It's like a butt cushion. You see this motherfucker?
Oh, yeah, I got one of those. I threw it out.
Dude, and it's like, and I was watching man, like I just sat on the hump. That did not feel right. That's like sitting on a bike with no seat. But
you keep doing that, man. You might get used to that kind of shit.
But damn. No, I just thought I'm hopping around like, what the fuck is going on there? But holy shit, man. So here's something funny. I know we were talking about stereotypes before. And my wife had asked if she said, oh, we got this thing in the mail from the casino, and they have like the Hard Rocks down here, right? And I'm thinking about your situation about going to AC, and I'm like, I don't think I want to go to a casino. I'm not casino ready yet, and because things I don't gamble, so I don't have fun doing that. That's not for me. Like, I'll go there, I'll watch a show, I'll go down to the bar, see they have a little nightclub or something, listen to some music, but I don't like hit the machines or hit the table. I don't come with money just to burn. And I'm like, so to me, it's like, I don't give a fuck if I lose it or not. So we start talking back and forth. And I was thinking about your situation about going to the casinos. I was like, damn, I wonder if Todd's been to the casino. And you had told me some stories one time. And it made me think of another story I had about when I was in Vegas. And there was a casino, obviously, in the lobby of every hotel. And I come downstairs and I go to like where the blackjack, I think it's blackjack, when they throw the ball in and the fucking thing spins around. No, that's the roulette table.
Oh, roulette.
Table. Right, the roulette table. See, that's how much I gamble. I don't even know the names of the games. So the roulette table.
I didn't get 21. What happened?
Yo, the lady miscounted, and the pit boss is just reaming her. What the fuck? And he's just like, he's giving her the riot act, and she's like, oh. The kicker is she was Asian. And I look at my wife and I'm like, I thought Asians were good at math. This guy must be fucking furious. Out of all the interviews he did.
So the dealer fucked up.
The dealer fucked up. And now he's got to recount the whatever the fucking thing is, because he's got to redistribute the chips or whatever the case is, or start giving credits because she fucked up on a thing. So he's over there and he's like, oh, man, imagine if she was like the blackjack dealer, because you don't put her on blackjack because she clearly can't count to 21.
Oh, man, like, she'll be fucking,
this dude. When he was interviewing people for the job, he was like, oh, Asian, boom, you got the job. I know you guys are great at math. We'll never have a problem. Then he's looking at, dude, I'm walking through the fucking casino, and he looks up. He like he's so fucking frustrated. He looks up and he catches eyes with me. And it's like, I was like, oh, And he just went, like, the one fucking Asian that I hire is
Right,
bad
the
at
one-
math, right?
I got the
Probably
bootleg
plays
version.
the fuck out of a violin, right? But she's I got the one fucking Asian that can't count to 21. I'm like,
Oh man, that's crazy.
So anyway, whenever I think of casinos, I think of you, and I was like, I gotta tell Todd that story.
That's funny, man. When we go to Atlantic City, I don't know if you've ever been to Tropicana in Atlantic City.
Oh yeah.
Okay, when you go down the escalator, toward the bottom, they have like all the eateries and all the places over there. And the downstairs is for smoking, which I can't stand.
Yeah.
But sometimes if there's a line and you're waiting to, for your table, I'll kill a couple of, minutes and I'll play the games. So when you go down the escalator, they have a roulette thing, but it's one of those video screens where it's not an actual dealer. The girl's on the screen. And she says, hey, do you want to play? And, you stick the money into the thing and they talk to you through the screen. So as we're going down the escalator, Steph and I, she's looking, and like smiling. So as I'm walking with her, there's people behind me on the escalator. So I pick up Steph's hand and I said, don't look at me. I'm married. Stop giving me the eye. You see this? I'm a married man. I said, stop looking at me like that.
You talking to the machine though?
Yeah, I'm talking to the machine. And because it looks like they're following you when you go down the escalator. So I'm like, stop looking at me. I'm married. My wife's going to kill me. And people are looking at me like I'm fucking insane. And she's like, really? You got to do this now? I said, you saw she fucking looked at me. Every girl looked at me just now. She's like, it's a machine. What are you talking about? I said, her eyes followed me.
Come here, Toddy. Stick your dick in the slot machine.
No, it's
Like,
they don't want the dick in. No. They want the money in the slot machine. Fuck the stick. They want the money. It's casino shit, man.
Holy shit, bro.
And if I can stick my dick in that machine, then I better fucking cancel my manhood card because it's just a little slot to put a fucking paper bill in. So, I don't like to brag, but it's a lot bigger than that. Come on, shit. But yeah, man. I mean, did you go to that barbecue this past weekend or? On Friday you mentioned.
Every weekend is a different barbecue. I can't remember the last one that we spoke about. I know that I went
Friday night. Weekend. You said.
Oh, last Friday. Yes. Yeah, because family was in town. We went to a barbecue there, but it fucking rained, so we had to take the party in the house. And then again, Uncle Derek gets stuck arm wrestling with the kids. So the thing is, I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh fuck, I struggle, and then I let them win. And then after a while, I'm like, all right, listen, we're gonna start taking this home. So just they'll grab me. I'm like 1, 2, 3, and just drop. So these fucking kids, after a while, I don't know what happened, but I just like left my arm there, and they just like boom, 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 over probably maybe for 20, 30 minutes.
Go ahead.
Right. It's just like I probably need Tommy John surgery right now. The way these kids are working my fucking arm. I'm like, my elbow. What the fuck did you do? So at one point though, I don't know what happened. One of the bigger kids came, and when I say bigger, I'm saying 8, 9. So not too big, right? So one of the bigger kids came and grabbed my arm and goes, my turn to arm wrestle. And I felt his hand. I was like, oh, it's bigger. And the minute I fucking grabbed his hand, bang! I fucking here. That motherfucker started crying. Mommy!
My elbow's hanging. Derek hurt me.
I was like, Lori, time to go.
Fun. Maybe, bro, I just thought of something. Maybe if you defeat every kid and fuck their shit up, you won't have to be the favorite Uncle Derek anymore. They'll come to the house the next time and be like, I'm going to hang out. No, Uncle Derek is scary. He hurt me last time.
Wear a fucking cast from the last party.
Keep him away, mommy.
Oh, my God. Yeah, dude.
But, our barbecue was good. The barbecue, the weather was gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't the barbecue that was the problem. It's the commute going to the barbecue and coming back. Now, we take the Garden State to go, where we had to go. And I don't know what it is. I think the cars that are manufactured in New Jersey have an option of either coming or not coming with blinkers. Because I think every vehicle I saw in the Garden State with Jersey plates did not signal. I'm talking third lane to first lane to third lane, center lane, not knowing where to go. I mean, it was like a ping pong tournament on the Garden State. And I'm just like driving, saying, I'm looking at my wife and she's like getting nervous. She's grabbing on, looking for the imaginary brake. And I'm like, don't worry, I got this. I'm not going to go too fast.
Right.
And I'm like fucking like Ricochet Rabbit here because these fucking people, man, it's like crisscrossing back and forth and no blinker. I'm like, what the fuck? And then my friend who lived in Jersey back in the day, we used to go on our breaks. He'd say, oh, yeah, you New York guys, you don't use blinkers, blah, blah. I said, let me tell you something. I almost did the Hulk Hogan. Let me tell you something, brother. And I was going to cut a promo on this motherfucker because everybody in Jersey does not use a blinker. It was insane, man.
Dude, you know what kills me?
You must have experienced it when you were in Jersey.
Bro, listen, it's worse down here in Florida because not only do they not use a blinker, but they tailgate. And if they use the blinker, it's while they're turning. So like they turn like, oh shit, I forgot to hit the blinker. By the way, I'm just want to let you know that I'm doing exactly what I'm doing now. I should have told you back there, but I waited to the last minute and you could have gone. That's the kind of shit we deal with. But bro,
they assume.
Here's the fucking problem I have. As much as I hate that, as much as I hate asshole drivers, and as much as I want to fuck with them, and I do fuck with them on the road, like I'll box them in or some shit like that, or I'll start slowing down. But
a game.
Well, yeah, it becomes a game. But the problem is, anytime I go out with Lori, she likes to drive. I'm like, fuck it, I'll play on my phone. But here's the problem. When she encounters these drivers, she starts cutting the promo in the car. What the fuck, motherfucker? Use your blinker. What are you doing? Come on, stupid. Who fucking taught you to drive? What you do is you drive this way. When you know it, you make a cut. You go into the fucking right lane. Then you put your blinker on, signal me. You pause. You fucking go. And I'm like, hey, babe, he can't hear you. I'm listening to you. I know how to fucking drive. Why are you yelling at me? Like, why do I have to have the wrath of Khan come down on me because of that fucking asshole who's already passed us? Like, he didn't get none, everything you just said, your emotions, everything you poured out, the whole driving lesson thing. He didn't get none of that. I did. I'm like, yo,
unless he can read lips,
mad, bro.
All he sees is this.
Yo, right. He don't even see that much. He's like, Peter, fuck you.
Like Stone Cold cutting a promo without the sound.
Right. I'm like, yo. Dude, and she goes into it, man. Yo, even no matter what it is, like she could argue. You know how many times we go to the fucking store and like somebody is just not watching their kid? She goes, and she starts making a fucking scene. I can't fucking believe this. Somebody would just leave their kid like this, walking in the store, not even paying attention. Somebody come and kidnap him, pick him up, steal him, do something. Like he can get hurt. He can pull that whole fucking thing on top of him. Everything can fall on him. You're not even paying attention. I should call DieHard right now. And I'm like, why do you fucking care? I don't know that kid. I don't love it. I don't give a fuck.
Not our kid.
Nothing to do with me.
It's not our problem.
Stirring this shit up. Yo, dude, I lose my fucking mind sometimes. She wants to interject herself or start teaching the world. And
that's
dude,
the
love my wife,
instinct, dude. Yeah.
But I'm the punching bag. Me,
exactly.
I get fucked. I gotta. So for every asshole in the world that encounters my wife,
I'll tell you something else.
You're right. It's my fault somehow. And then, God forbid, I say, all right, enough. Yeah, he's not here. Okay, why the fuck are you yelling at me? Now I'm the bad guy.
No. That's going to start around two. No. You're burying yourself, man.
I'm like, what'd I do? So now you did something, motherfucker. Now I'm going to start yelling at you. I'm like, oh, shit.
I'm telling you, man. You sometimes you're better off just going like this. No, I understand. And you in your head, you're like this. How much more time we got of this shit?
I've mastered that. Man. Yep, for real. Damn. Oh no, he didn't. Oh shit, for real.
You know, I tried to bite my tongue yesterday, man, and it was hard, and I had to say something. I was hanging out the house yesterday, and parking is scarce by my house. So when I have my truck in front of the house, I don't like moving it. So there's a shopping area, maybe like a 10-minute walk, and they have like a supermarket, liquor store, all these places. They have a Moe's, they have a Subway, and I was dying for a foot long here. I was starving.
You were dying for a foot long?
Yes, I said, fuck, I'm gonna go. Sandwich.
Roast beef. I want a brown.
Yeah. No, I got the steak and cheese with the chipotle, right? So now I get this fucking hero. I get my drink. I can't wait to go home and eat it. It's fucking hot. I walk out of the Subway. Now you have like the sidewalk and you have like the parking lot. Now I'm literally walking on the side of the parking lot where the parked cars are, so the cars can drive past me, and I'm cutting across the lot so I can, head home. So this dude is driving a car, and he pulls up next to me, and I hear, yo, excuse me, yo, my brother, excuse me. So I'm just walking. I said, he must be talking to somebody else. So I got my sandwich, and I'm just walking, and now I'm on the side of the road. Keep this in mind, because this is the part of the story where it makes no sense. Yo, excuse me, my brother. So I finally turn around, and of course, we escaped Brooklyn, but not the mentality's still in us. So I said, what, you talking to me? And he looks at me. He goes, yeah, my brother, I got a question for you. So I'm like, what's up? He says, you got a bumper? You must not have a bumper on you. So I knew what he was talking about. Basically saying that he's trying to drive by and I'm in his fucking way. Right. So meanwhile, here's the car and I'm walking along the side. I'm nowhere near this motherfucker. And he says, I know you don't have a bumper on you. So I said, well, perhaps you need a fucking bigger bumper if you know how to drive that little shit box you got. And he just looked at me. He said, excuse me? I said, motherfucker, I didn't stutter. Now I got the Subway in my hand. I'm about to use it I'm going to waste my sandwich and use it as a fucking club.
Subway presents nunchucks.
And knock Chipotle all over his fucking dome because I'm getting pissed now, you know? And he says, yo, man, I work hard for a living. You know, people should be in the way. This is the street to drive. So I said, motherfucker, I'm walking up against the trunks of the parked cars, bro. You got the whole fucking road. I said, if you can't get by me, maybe your ass needs a bubble, fuck a bumper. And he just kept on going. And I'm saying to myself, since when did I become the fucking designated asshole? I'm trying to go home, have my sandwich. I'm in a good fucking mood. And this motherfucker's calling my ass out like I'm in his fucking way.
What the fuck does you walking the street have to do anything with how he makes a living?
I know. And that's what he said to me. He goes, yo, man, I work hard for a living. So I said to myself, well, congratulations. Meanwhile, you know, I'm on hiatus right now. But I said, yeah, I work hard for a living too. What's your fucking point, you know? And he's like, well, you know, people shouldn't be in the middle of the road. I said, where do you see me in the middle of the fucking road? I'm walking alongside the parked cars. Bro, the whole path for the two-way cars that come by is wide open. I'm nowhere near this motherfucker. I know you don't have a bumper. I was thinking to myself, I wish I had a bumper because I would have cracked it across his fucking skull, man.
You know what you should have done? You should have looked at him like, listen, when that light turns green, we're going to race.
I'm going to step down on your bumper and take
you get down there like fucking Flojo. You're like, 1, 2.
I thought he was joking at first. I really did because I was nowhere near this asshole. You know, I'm thinking to myself, Stevie Wonder could have got past me. I mean,
sometimes you got to fight crazy with crazy. So he's crazy for saying that shit. You say something even crazier. Like,
you have to. You have to, man. Like, you know, it's funny when you say you have to, when someone says something stupid, you got to say something stupid back. I was looking at a Facebook memory today from like 9 years ago when I was an assistant store manager at Dwayne Reed. So I put the post up. I said, early this morning, and it's a true story, or early this morning, a customer comes in and I'm packing out, minding my own business. I'm actually not packing out. I was making an order. So this not old, but an older lady comes up to me out of nowhere and she just looks at me and she smiles. And she says, I bet you years ago when you were in school, you wouldn't imagine doing this for a living, huh? So now I look at it, right? So I'm thinking about it. So wait, so I got a good comeback for this. I'm like, well, that's where you're wrong. You see, when I was a kid in school, my dream was to be the boss of everybody and be in charge. I'm living the dream. He looked at me. She was like, huh. And she walked away. So to myself, I'm like, huh. But I didn't, you know, do it out loud. But I'm thinking to myself, sometimes, like you said, you just got to match the wits back and be as crazy or as fucking, you know, sarcastic or whatever it is. And it's like out of nowhere she said it.
This is how it amazes me how you and I grew up on two different sides of Brooklyn. Like we're both from Brooklyn. You grew up in one area, I grew up in another neighborhood, and like you're so fucking polite. You guys are like Canadian from where you guys are from. My neighborhood, you're like, oh yeah, old lady, what the fuck did you ever do with your life? Whose dick have you been sucking so you can be a housewife all day long watching soap operas with those tiny fucking brown cigarettes shoved up your asshole? Who the fuck do you think you are?
On the streets, I can say that, but I'm at work, dude. I'm a manager of a store. You know, I'm dressed civil with a fucking tie. You must say, oh, you fucking twat. Let me tell you something. I can't say that. I'm working.
Hey, let me tell you, you going down the aisle, go get yourself a new douche. It's on me. Get the fuck out of here. It's like...
And you know, man, back in those days, I was a crazy bastard because when someone would shoplift, I would tackle them. So, I swear to God, man.
Wait, you would what? You would fucking tackle them.
I would give them a horse collar. I grab them before they left the building. One day I'm in the office, right? I'm looking at the security cam, and this guy, he's standing like this by the door. All I see is this. I see his arms fucking flying, right? So he's leaning over where the deodorant is and all the other shit, and he's pocketing everything. So I'm sitting in the office. I'm watching the camera, which is right out the door. So I'm watching this ass. I'm like, okay. So we had codes on the intercom. So one of the guys that worked there, I said, Matt, we have an issue by the vestibule. So as soon as I say that, that's the cue that someone's about to head out. We got to stop. I walk out the door. The guy's walking as fast as he can. He came in the store all skinny. Now he's leaving all fucking huge.
Right,
he's got a million things that he heisted, you know? So I said, excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. And he's just walking. I said, yo. And I just grabbed him by the collar. When I lynched him, all the shit went flying out of his coat. And he tried running. And I did like a chop block. I took out his leg and we dragged him to the back. Security guard, he cuffed him. We called the cops. So we take care of business. So back in the day when I used to work, I would be wearing my glasses. So I'd be like this. And when I would get mad, I take my glasses off and I start running, you know, for the guy. So all the guys that work for me started making a joke. They said, yo, man, when Todd's the boss at work, motherfucker Clark Kent, but if someone fuck with him, man, he's Superman, yo. He takes some glasses off. He fucking darts to that vestibule and he's fighting crime, motherfucker. And we just started laughing hysterical. So then when the Walgreens took over, we were Dwayne Reed. This guy comes in, he goes, listen, you know, we can't be stopping people from stealing, blah, blah, blah. I said, well, that you have to prevent shrinkage. He goes, well, from now on, don't do anything or you can get fired for that. So I said, so let me get something straight. I do my job. I'm going to get fired. He's like, yeah. I said, okay. Bro, I came into work at 6:30 in the morning. I started at 7 every day. I get there early, have my coffee, hang out. Homeless guy walks in 6:45, goes down the beer aisle. We had coolers with the beer.
Yeah.
Cracks open a fucking tall boy. He starts drinking it in the middle of the aisle. I just looked at him, Mazel Tov, and I just walked away. I didn't give a shit. And I just laughed my balls off. I'm like, whatever. So then they're like, yo, boss, what happened, man? You didn't turn into Superman. I said, the new district manager is my kryptonite. I'm done. and that was it.
Somebody must have told the homeless guy, because I took some balls to walk in and like, because I don't give a fuck today.
No, I'll tell you, Cinco de Mayo was worse, man, because I worked a block away from Times Square. You get all the
you worked in that
coming.
shithole. Yeah.
During Cinco de Mayo, you'd have the neighborhood people, you'd have the partiers, and then you'd have the drunks. We had a guy one time walk in the middle of the aisle. He just squatted down, pulled off his pants. He just took a shit right in the aisle.
He took a shit in the aisle?
Right in the aisle. And
All right.
I looked at the porter, and I said to him,
Okay.
I said, you got a breakage in aisle 5. You got to take care. You got to mop that shit up, literally. And I just walked away. I'm trying so hard not to laugh. And he just looked at me like this.
Yeah.
I gotta fucking do this shit. The look on his face was priceless, man.
You said you had a porter, which is fucking awesome. It must have been a great store making a lot of money that they can afford a fucking porter. Because normally in these stores, in my area, Brooklyn, like, yo, we can't afford no fucking porter. You 3 round up and you guys work it out.
Cashier has to
clean that shit up. Yeah, that's it.
Well, we used to do that. Cashiers would take turns, but then we got a porter that we hired. He came up to me with the mop. He's like, listen, when I got hired to clean up the shit in the store, I didn't think I was going to actually mop up motherfucking shit.
Yeah.
So I looked at him. I said, well, I'm not going to do it. I said, I'm the manager.
Yo, my first job, I was like 14. I worked at a Burger King. And dude, first of all, we fucked things up over there, right? My friends would come through, like, yo, let me get a double Whopper. I said, 5 pieces of meat. You got it. Yo, we'd be in the back. We'd be bored. We go fucking cook hamburgers. We put ketchup on them, throw them against the wall, and have a race. See who got down to the floor first. Somebody comes in, I'm like, oh shit, pick that
have
up.
races down the wall.
Dude, we used to lock each other in the fucking freezer. Dude, yo, we used to do fucking like seriously ridiculous.
How long
shit.
you can last?
Yeah, we used to look, like it was bad. Like seriously, hopefully there is a whatever they call that shit where they can't come arrest me now because that shit happened 35 years ago, whatever it was. Okay.
The statute of limitations has expired.
Exactly. But dude, the day they were like, all right, Derek, we need you to go in there to get the mop and the thing, go clean the bathroom. I was like, wait, what? They're like, yeah, you gotta clean the bathroom. You're up. I'm like, that's like a public bathroom. I don't do that. They're like, no, you're up to clean the fucking bathroom. I was like, no, you need to find somebody else. I quit. I didn't go.
No hablo inglés.
Fucking public bathroom. Yo, seriously? Listen, there are people out there who do it. Shout out to them. Because I could not fucking do that.
No, I couldn't do it, man.
Dude.
You saw that video, right?
I know the assholes in this house, huh?
You see the TikTok video, the dude that fucking shit in the train station in the guy's bucket?
Yeah, in the mop bucket.
Yo, the guy's yelling, yo, he's shitting in your bucket.
He pulled a Toddy D. He was like, yo, kryptonite, man. I can't hit him.
Kryptonite.
What am I supposed to do? But yo, the dude got up and like he got up from taking a shit. He was gonna swing at him. because he
Yeah,
tried
he
to get
got
him off the
mad.
bucket. And he was like, you know
You
what?
interrupted my
Fuck
shit.
this. He's like, that's my job. That's my life. Like that old bitch that came up to you should have been like, hey, when you were young, did you think you're going to be out here having a bum shit in your mop bucket? Like,
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I would have clocked that bitch in the fucking head.
Fucking throw
like a
her in the
stick ball
bucket with
bat.
the shit.
Stupid.
Right in there.
Yeah, and then right, I would have drowned her. Like, hey, bum, when you're done with that shit, let me know. Oh my god.
Unbelievable, man. Well, speaking of retail, man, I'll be back not really working in a store, but in a couple of weeks, I'm taking on a truck driving gig, so I'll be delivering to stores. But thank God I won't be staying there too long. I'll just go there, drop off what I got to do, and then head to the next one.
Yep. Good shit, man.
That's
good
it.
stuff. And shout out to you, man, getting that fucking.
But working in those old places when I used to be a manager, man, the shit I used to watch. When I had the opportunity to leave, I couldn't wait. It was horrible, man. Like certain holidays, like Cinco de Mayo, it was a fucking crazy ass fucking like fest going on in the store. It was insane,
dude. It's
shit that you would never imagine happening.
People are savages, man. I go to the fucking stores, like I'll hit the stores out here, the clothing stores, and during like the Black Friday, I guess you can understand people are going in a mad rush because it's a limited time.
Insane.
But in general, just every other day of the year, 364 other days, people come, they'll look, they'll fucking throw it on the floor, they'll fucking knock shit off the shelf looking for their size, and I'm like, yo, put that shit back the way you found it. What's wrong with you people?
That's right.
And it's crazy because my son and my daughter are fucking mess makers. And for fucking 20 years, man, I can't teach them. I'm like, I give up. I'm just like, fuck it. Just whatever.
You go down the car aisle, you find a t-shirt, like, what the fuck over here?
Yeah. I'm like, I'm over here trying to be fucking Mr. Spotty clean. And then these two over here just ruining everything. And like, all right, if I were in a store, why would I give a fuck? Why, but the people just that coming, dude, you ever walk into a store and it looks like a mess, like, ooh, I don't shop here no more, and you just walk out? Yeah,
right.
I'm like, yeah, like, yo, this place went to shit. I'm not coming here anymore. That's it. Savages came.
Yeah, exactly. If I go to a store and if I go into the aisle where I want to get, say, a bottle of water, I don't want to find fucking pantyhose in that aisle. I want to make sure I'm in the right fucking aisle. Yeah. Shit's all over the place.
And then, I feel bad for the kids that work there because they are neatly stacking the clothes, and somebody going there looking like for a polo shirt, and they'll be stacked up here. I'm looking for a fucking extra large, and they just knock over the whole stack.
Half the fucking rack. Yeah.
Got one, and then walk away with the fucking dominoes and lay it on the floor. Like, and then you look at the kid, like, oh man, I know they're paying you minimum wage. And how many times today have you already had to pick up that stack and refold that shit? Because people are savages. And just so you know, I'm not talking about in the hood or ghetto people. No, I'm talking about every fucking where you go, dude. All neighborhoods, even the nice ones. People are fucking savages. Oh my god, dude.
And then the kicker is the manager tells the poor bastard making minimum wage that you have to take pride in your work and you have to be happy about this and always have a smile. And if I'm that kid, I'm like, motherfucker, I tried taking pride. I tried facing the labels. I put everything the way it goes. And then this fucking hurricane came in and knocked down half my shit to get one thing that they didn't even wind up purchasing. And now it's a fucking mess. And I got to be happy about this. This is why people don't want to work anymore.
Bro, it's crazy.
People are savages, man.
I don't want to be around people. I'm good. Like this last year, I've been hibernating, and I'm like, I could do this. I'm good. And I only see them when I need to see them, but that's not often.
Me too, man. I'm going to miss working from home, man.
Yeah,
you know, like I'm the type of guy, I'm nice to my family. I'm nice to my friends. I'll be nice to whoever files Escape from Brooklyn. Any sponsors, I'll be your best friend. Brooklyn,
tell Sergeant Slaughter to follow us.
Who?
Sergeant Slaughter, have him follow us.
Hey, Sarge, that's right, man. Shout out to Sarge. We'll take a little clip of this and we're gonna put it up on his Twitter page.
Yeah, tell him, like, hey, Gunny D's got to
say I'm dismissed.
He said, I ain't watching these two maggots. I didn't say,
you slime, you scum.
That motherfucker followed me because somebody asked me, said, hey man, are they ever gonna make a DieHard Derek action figure? And I was like, you know what? They canceled production because the demand was too high, and it was going to outsell the Sergeant Slaughter G.I. Joe one, the mail away one from the 80s. And he liked it, he retweeted it, and then he followed me. I was like, that's all you got to do. You got to compliment his
mention. He'll follow you, man. He's cool like that. Yeah,
crazy, man. I was like, oh shit, that was pretty cool. But yeah, man, why don't we wrap this one up? We got so much shit to talk about.
Sounds like a plan.
You want to let them know where they can find you?
You can find me at Toddy D Comedy. How about you, brother?
Bro, I'm at Yo Derek Gordon. I've been considering changing that because I don't know if people understand the yo. Maybe they think I'm saying it. You're right. That's supposed to be Brooklyn. Yo, Derek. Gordon.
Back in the days, yelling out the window when we were kids, there was no beepers or cell phones. You got yelled at the window. Derek, it's time for dinner. Get in. Yo, Derek. Yo, Todd.
Right. Dude, but I think they think because I'm Puerto Rican, I'm saying, yo soy Derek Gordon. I'm like, no, yo, Derek. I'm like, no, come on, it's Juan. No, that is not me. It's like,
mi amigo.
Yeah, I might have to change that. But for right now, it's at yo Derek Gordon. Anyway, don't forget to follow the show at Escape from BKLYN. That's Brooklyn abbreviated. We are out of here. We're out of time, but we will be back next week with another episode. Till then,